What is up, everybody? Thanks for clicking onto my video. And yeah, you see the title. Stuff happened, and let's talk about it. So this just happened recently. It was over the break, the winter break, in between my 2 college semesters, and yeah, pretty much I got COVID. So I have 2 jobs, right? When I'm at school, I work at a music studio. When I'm at home, I work with adults with mental disabilities. And so while I'm home, I'm doing a lot of work, and I'm working about 70 hours a week, just, working a whole lot. I'm getting married, I got, make some money, save up. And so I'm working, and all of a sudden, one of the residents gets COVID. I'm like, okay, that's nice. Immediately, my job was like, all right, all the residents got to stay in their room. We're going to keep them away from all the workers and everything. And so at first, we're all kind of, separated. We're spending time away from each other. No residents in the office, nothing like that. Keep space, make sure everybody's masked up, quarantine, social distancing, all that type of stuff. And so my initial reaction was, So my dilemma was like, although obviously I don't want to get COVID, at the same time I could still use the money, still work, you need money to do life. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go extra on the precautions. And so when I tell you I Lysoled and I sprayed everything, like, look, I Lysoled the bathroom, I Lysoled hand sanitizer bottles, I can't speak. I Lysoled desks, I Lysoled doorknobs. Every time a coworker, a resident, anything came around me, I Lysol sprayed the entire area. I Lysol sprayed my clothes. I was playing no games with nobody. Like, so much to the point where in my head I was getting headaches and stuff from all the chemicals, which may have been true. Because when I tell you, I was emptying cans. I was playing no games with COVID-19. And so that was the beginning of it. And the thing that sucked about it is, as much as I was trying to do to keep myself safe, social distance, keep myself away from anybody, even some of my coworkers just seemed to not be taking it seriously. And I'm like, why would you not take this seriously? Why are you not wearing your mask? Why are you not doing what you're supposed to be doing? It's one thing, if everybody seems safe or you don't know people have it. No, we know these people have COVID. Why are you not being careful? People coming in and out of the office, not wearing the mask correctly, and just not taking it seriously. In my mind, I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you guys? And if I get COVID, I'm having beef with y'all. We know how that turned out. And so we fast forward a little bit. One of the coworkers there that works there, they got COVID, but because so many people weren't trying to work, they had to continue working. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And at this point, everybody in the house, there's about, I believe, 9 people in the house at the time, 9 residents. 7 of them had COVID. Now one of the coworkers had COVID. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because at this point, I'm like, I can't afford to have COVID. I'm supposed to be going back to school soon. And on top of that, I'm a pianist at my church. I don't want to get COVID, get anybody else sick, or miss any time, especially since we're setting up new sound systems and stuff like that. And for the most part, I'm the one who understands most of it. And so I don't want to miss it. And then all of a sudden, things go wrong while I'm not there and all this type of stuff. And so I'm like, I cannot afford to get COVID right now. And then on top of that, y'all gonna stop me from getting money. Y'all gonna stop me from working. Nah, don't mess with my monies. So yeah, we're continuing, and all the residents to themselves. I'm making sure I'm staying away from every single one of my coworkers. I am Lysol spraying everything, making myself sick off Lysol. I do not care. Alright, I do not care. I was not trying to get COVID. And so what we're doing at the job, we're making the food, we're taking it, dropping it off at the room doors, knock on the door and run away. Keeping our space and everything for maybe a week and a half. And I'm getting myself tested. Whenever I have to go out and be around other people, I'm making sure I'm staying away from my family, just kind of staying in my room with my mask in the house and everything. And long story short, eventually I started to have more symptoms. And so where I thought, alright, I'm just ODing with the Lysol spray and the chemicals are getting to me, now all of a sudden I'm starting to feel nauseous driving home. I'm just like, And keep in mind, I had like an undercooked piece of pork or something earlier that day, so in my mind I'm like, is this COVID? Is this food poisoning? Like what is going on with me right now? And like it wasn't like a crazy nauseous, like I was going to throw up or anything like that, but I don't get nauseous. That's just not a thing for me. I don't get nauseous, I don't get sick, period, really. And so I'm wondering, I'm like, what the heck is going on with me? And so fast forward, I keep going, I'm at work, all of a sudden I get hot randomly, and then all of a sudden other times I get cold randomly, and I'm like, if I got COVID, I'm giving every one of my coworkers hands. Sick of it. And so eventually Friday comes where I go, I'm doing my test, because I'm like, you know what, I still got to go back to church this weekend, do everything there. I'm going with my fiance to do laundry and stuff like that. Let me get myself tested. We both went together to get tested, and long story short, I had COVID. Thankfully she didn't, but I did. I was mad. But, you know, it is what it is. We're in a pandemic. Virus doesn't discriminate. So, it could happen. So I went, I had COVID, I had quarantine for a couple of days, and honestly, by that point, I felt absolutely fine. Like, as far as the fever was concerned, a while back, I took my temperature. My fever was like, I don't know, like 101.9 or something like that. But at the point that I had to quarantine, I was like, I feel fine. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, because whenever I get sick, I just be like, screw it. For me, I'll be sick, the flu and everything, and then just go out and play basketball. Like, I don't care. I don't get sick, and even when I do get sick, it doesn't take me out or anything. I just go about my usual life, maybe with just sniffing, sneezing a little bit, but sickness doesn't really bother me. So I'm just going about my life, and I tested positive. That's what happened. So I went about it. You know, I did my quarantine, got retested, tested negative. I was like, all right, cool. I can go to school. I can go do what I gotta do for the rest of the year. And, you know, that's that. Thankfully, my quarantine wasn't too bad. It was fine. It was boring. Although I will admit, there was one day where I low-key had a little mental breakdown. Just from being, like, it felt like I was in jail, just shut up in my room. But, yeah, that's how that went. So long story short, don't get COVID. If people around you have COVID, wear your mask. If people around you don't have COVID, wear your mask. If not, I will find you. I will find you.